Greenwashing is a really interesting thing because, especially from the conversations we've had with people in the industry, I really do think that people come at this conversation from a position of wanting to do the right thing. I think there's very little cynicism in people's behavior around this. The tricky thing with greenwashing is that people can get fixated on very small things, and then they try and fix a very small thing, but it's like plugging a hole in a dam and one hole gets plugged and everything comes out the other hole. Or what happens is that people create something they're really proud of creatively, but it doesn't necessarily do the job that's required. And then there is a whole other area whereby we are essentially rewarding this work. If work that people are producing that is actually not having an impact, that is claiming to have an impact but doesn't have the impact that it claims, where they're putting their own KPIs on it so that it fulfills on what they want to look good, then it ends up being self-perpetuating. So even if people go into that process with the best within the world of not greenwashing, they can very easily come out the other end of the process having produced something that actually doesn't fulfill on what they wanted to, but they still want it to look like it does, and then they get awarded for it, and then it all becomes a bit of a melee. So I think greenwashing is a harsh term because it sort of suggests that people intended to do wrong, and let's come from a position that they don't. I don't think that the vast majority of people want to, but I do think that that's another reason why our industry needs to be much more stringent about A, how we award these things, B, how we encourage these things, C, how we promote these things. Like there is the PR of our industry promoting this work regardless of whether it has an impact or not, because that's the design of the way a lot of our industry works. And I think from an awards perspective, I think it would be wonderful if there was more conversation with the scientific side of this conversation, right? Like if people are having to judge work that is in green categories, how do they know that the KPIs that are being suggested are actually effective? How do they know if this product is going to make a difference in the real world? I do think there is a real avenue there to start melding that conversation, just like we did with Gigantic Fucking Solutions, with the academic community and the scientific community and our creative community, to start having people discuss it together so that we, as the creative end of the industry, feel confident in the choices that we make instead of feeling like we're on ground that we don't have a clear viewpoint on.